Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dharma. I'm a performance scientist and a training thought leader for a Fortune 500 company. I also run a research forum called ExpertX. I specialize in speed in professional learning, performance, and change management. Today, I want all of you to think about one thing critically. Is your workforce truly built to adopt new changes at the speed of business? Are they ready to respond to the speed with which you are making changes? Charles Fred said in his book, Breakaway, that speed is the devastating competitive weapon in today's time. No matter you are an NGO, governmental, or multinational corporation, this statement is so true for everyone. You have seen this during the pandemic, how quickly you needed employees to change the work practices and adopt entirely new ways of doing the work. In your organization, you might be bringing new infrastructure. You might be implementing new technologies. You might be changing the way of doing work. You might have gotten new ways of working. You might be changing organizational structure and redefining job roles and expectations. You might be now having the workforce to work from home for a little bit longer. Any new change is uncomfortable, but to reduce the impact on your business, service, or operations, you need to make sure that the change management is designed for speedy adoption of new changes. Let's learn some research-based insights on how you can accelerate change management. Just to set the context that the successful change management of any kind, whether it is a new process, system function, or a new job role, employees need to master tasks and behaviors and use them to produce the outcome expected from them. For instance, a financial analyst may need to learn and master tasks to use a new software system. While doing so, he or she has to constantly demonstrate the use of software to do the job. But final outcome expected from a financial analyst is his or her analysis or recommendation and not the task accomplishments. When you implement a new system or process, financial analysts may master tasks, behaviors, and outcomes to display the performance. But ultimately, what you are looking for is proficient performance in producing outcomes. Let me qualify what proficiency means. It's that special point where you want your employees' performance in adopting new changes, processes, functions, or systems to be consistent month over month, not just one-time achievement. You want that performance to be repeatable, no matter what job grade. You want to be assured that the performance is reliable and you can depend upon it. You want them to be independently productive, so you don't need to have a constant supervision on them. That type of performance is called proficiency. Every change management manager's role is to bring their employees to that level of performance. That's the point where our change management meets its stated goals. As change managers, you already know ADKAR model of change management. When you bring a new change, you create awareness among your employees that some change is coming. Then you start talking about why that change is necessary. You outline the issues of the old system and tell them why the new system would make their life easier or better. That creates the desire for change. When systems are about to go operational, you provide them some online modules or documents so that they already know what part is changing, what new process is coming. Based on the complexity of the changes, you design training courses to provide them the ability and skills to perform on the new systems. But you have to keep reinforcing new behavior via managers or some booster reminders. That's how they start becoming more and more comfortable with new systems and functions. However, you can't lift all this supervision yet. You need them to all become proficient in new skills, behaviors, and functions. However, it takes some time to reach there. That time, when average over all the employees, is called time proficiency. Your staff generally won't like the changes because it reduces their productivity, sense of accomplishment, and feel good in beginning when you bring new changes. So it's even more important that you get them out of that phase as soon as possible. The dotted line you see in this proficiency time graph, that's hypothetical target proficiency you want from your employees in adopting and demonstrating new processes or systems or changes. But if you leave them of their own, your employees will follow the red line and reach the target proficiency in much longer time. You need to figure out how to lift that curve to follow the green line so that you can get them there soon. But it's not easy unless you are aware of it. Then the question to reflect is, how did you get them faster there through your change management efforts? I have conducted a massive research with some best organizations in the world. Given the audience here, I need to mention that apart from Fortune 500 corporations, it included government and federal agencies, NGOs, military and defense organizations, community service, and care. My basic question to their world-class leaders was, how did you speed up time to proficiency of your workforce? How did you bring your employees up to speed on new changes? At the core, the answer is simple. Many of you would have kids, right? You nurture changes in your kids as they grow up by providing them a great environment, helping them to become mature persons through a series of development and educational and support interventions. Building proficient teams ready to adopt changes requires a similar kind of nurturing, education, development, culture, and support. A properly designed proficiency ecosystem can hugely impact the time proficiency when you bring new changes. Today, I will show you 3 views of what ecosystem that nurtures the employees through EDGAR journey toward proficiency. Number 1 is keeping them at the center. Number 2 is keeping you as managers at the center. Number 3 is keeping the technology surrounding your operations at the center. Let's take on it one by one. In recent times, government and non-governmental organizations have become highly customer-centric. No matter internal customers or externals, I don't debate it because it has its own advantage. But in my research, the companies who drastically speed up employee performance, in fact, were more employee-centric. They kept their employees at the center. The leadership emphasized that the employees are the face of the company. They believe that the employees' abilities and speed with which they attain the necessary abilities are the key drivers to better customer service, better business outcome, sustainable revenues, more operational efficiency. Such organization made 6 elements of ecosystem working in harmony, in sync, to ensure that employees come up to speed faster. Their managers, their peers, their coaches, mentors, technologies, experts, and overall job environment. These all were geared toward one thing, the success of employees. The logic here is that if you measure their proficiency in terms of business KPIs, you automatically address all your business and customer or operation goals in one shot. These leaders created an enabling and supportive environment that is specifically designed to let employees know how their speed matters. They specifically focused on what guidance your employees are getting from their peers. They ensure that they drive a network of coaches to have the right coach for the right employee at every step of the way. They didn't say, go sit with Jim. If Jim is not available, then sit with Joe. Rather, they asked for more structure, more accountable coaching processes at the organizations. Then they created platforms, forums, or meetings to get the employees to access the top performers, experts, or SMEs in any part of the company so that they could leverage previous organizational knowledge to get faster instead of inventing a wheel. These leaders were reasonably tech savvy to decide what kind of technologies and performance support system they must provide to employees to get them just in time support at the point of need. I will touch upon this in detail in a while. The point here is that the moment you as a leader keep your performers at the center and make their development speed your number one priority, you create a culture in which all elements are working with each other to bring that speed. Now the question comes, what can make all the things happen in this ecosystem? That one is the last and the most crucial component of success of the entire ecosystem. And that would lead us to the second viewpoint many organizations have adopted. And that component is direct frontline manager. If you look at the ecosystem from how the work is actually being done in organizations, you will see that managers being at the center. Managers or leaders are the ones who are responsible for creating resources, relationships, systems, and environments for employees to learn, perform, and develop. They are the ones who give the performance goals. And logically, they are the ones who can help the most to achieve those at a faster rate. Do you agree? The leaders in the best-in-class organizations empowered and trained their frontline managers with the three strategic behavior that impacted time to proficiency drastically. Before I talk about those three behaviors, let me clarify something. There is a general belief among learning leaders that formal training contributes a pretty small part of overall skill development, while a large contribution comes from social interaction with peers and experts, coaching and mentoring and things like that. And irrefutably, the biggest contributor to skill development comes from the project, assignment, on-the-job experience gained by the employees. We don't need to debate the accuracy of the numbers here, but in general, that's a philosophy in regards to how learning and experience works together. So how managers behaved in each of these buckets? These managers first took deep involvement in employees' training plans. They even got involved in the course design cycle, and some of them even sat for half a day with the employee in the same training program. Imagine how the team would respond when you take deeper involvement in their training and how it speeds up their development. Then these managers created very purpose-driven opportunities between peers for new people to work with and learn from the star performers. They instituted a fully accountable and trackable coaching and mentoring process to leverage coaches and mentors to speed up the development. They leveraged and involved experts and performers in the organization instead of reinventing the wheel. During COVID-19 environment, you saw that you got your employees overly productive, even if they lost social and physical interactions. The reason is that you all got deeply involved with them at every step of the way, providing them the right kind of assignments that put them on an accelerated path. That's exactly what these managers did. They showed accountability to provide correct assignments and opportunities, which are sequenced for speedier development. But what happened when your employees got stuck despite all your involvement? Where do they go in the absence of social learning? That's where they need the right kind of resources, technologies, and tools to get just-in-time support or help during the assignments. That's the third viewpoint several organizations are adopting now. In the new normal, you have to think strategically about which technology can indeed support speed and which is there for process efficiency only. In my research, I found that the right kind of technologies, not all kind of technologies, the right kind of it tremendously cuts out the time from that proficiency journey. And the biggest impact on speed to proficiency were by those called performance support systems. There are many different types of sophisticated performance support technologies. These technologies are something an employee can use during the workflow as and when needed. at the time of need without having to master it upfront. The reality is that if people could get the questions answered, if you can ensure self-directed learning at the point of need, or you could give them the help when they need it, as much as they need it, not too much, not too less, during the workflow, something they can apply in context of the job. Those things would actually make your employees come up to speed faster, like accessing the right know-how or instructions, seeking practical guidance, instant help from peers remotely, accessing the top performers for advice, and connecting with the experts and coaches anywhere in the world, co-working with mentors for specific guidance. What I observed is that performance support technologies are your best friends in a speed enabling ecosystem when teams are geographically dispersed, when you can't provide them coaching and mentoring physically, when you can't provide them the peer social networking, when in-person training is not visible, or when training itself does not give you the result in terms of faster readiness of your teams. And a matter of fact, managers tend to rely heavily on training and more often underestimate the value of performance support systems. So far, I have explained three viewpoints: keeping performer at the center, keeping manager at the center, and then keeping technology at the center. All three are equally powerful, and it depends on your organizational strategy. If you are an employee-centric company, you might do well with the first one. If the strategies are manager-centric with a lot of empowerments, you might be good with the second viewpoint. But if you are on a digital transformation wave and technology at the heart of corporate strategies, then you might be better off with the third view. Of these three views on speed enabling ecosystem, which one syncs well with you? Reflect upon it. However, three approaches I talked about allow you to synchronize all elements of ecosystem in a way that it enables speed. Thus, it gives you speed enabling ecosystem. However, if you look at the fact that during last 1 decade, time to market of product services have squeezed down to from 3 years, it has become now 3 months. That means every 3 months, new systems are replacing the old system in the market. And so you would see the impact that you would have to be in this constant change management cycle. It would never end. There is increasing evidence that post-COVID, most organizations would want to keep the speed at the center. Just speed enabling culture or speed enabling ecosystem would not help too long. As a leader, you have to rethink everything from hiring to succession planning, organization design, learning interventions, leadership strategies. All are focused and designed for speed. That I would call the fourth view. If you take home one message, that would be this. If you ride upon that viewpoint today, you will retain a futuristic, competitive, speed-savvy leadership stance in the coming decade. The second link is the Amazon link for the library edition of my recent book called Speed Matters. Go ahead and grab a copy. There are my social media handle on the screen. It has been my pleasure to serve you today. Thank you.